all green arrows. We're good.
I don't see it. Live?
Welcome back to the show. We are live. Welcome.
Wasn't the last show 22? You never changed the numbers.
No, I just changed the number.
Hold on. Let me see. What was the last show? 21? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Welcome to the show. If you're new here, our channel, Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
Last show 22?
That's Ray. Right there.
I'm Ray. I was just checking the audio.
I'll let you finish that.
Yeah, no. It's good. We're checking the audio, make sure everything sounds good. I'm all excited. I got like a new ring light right over here. No, wait. Yeah, over here. It's over here. See where my lens finger is? Yeah. Ring light is great.
It looks good. Wait, did I just change our size? Stare at the screen. Tell me if I just changed our size. No, we're good. Green light, go.
You gotta flip us. Oh no, it's not even live. Why is it not working? You gotta flip us.
What do you mean? We're good.
No, you're supposed to be on the other side.
Oh Lord, I don't think I can do that. That's like not even an option.
I'm like, hey, what's up with this? You flipped us again. You changing everything over here.
Oof. Yeah, I don't. Oh shit, I don't think I can do that. Now that's gonna bother me. Why did you have to point that out?
But don't you have to fix that in Zoom?
No, I can't fix that in Zoom. I can't like choose which side I'm on.
No?
No, it's just whatever pops up.
Oh my goodness. All right. Let's just do the thing.
Full screen. All right. Well, welcome back to the channel, Sibling Rivalry. I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray. We have no technical issues this morning.
No, we're good. We just went live. No problem.
Good.
No hiccups.
Yeah, we tried troubleshooting on Sunday to get you more mobile.
Dude, how long was that? Working. That was like 2 hours, right? It ended up being like 2 hours of us just
yeah, it felt like all day. Yeah. And
we tried different devices. We tried different software. Nothing worked.
Nothing was working. Nope, nothing was working. It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
So that was for so that I can be a little more mobile. Right now I'm using a laptop, and it's a gaming laptop, so it's pretty big. It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you fly, TSA is like, oh, you have to remove all these stuff from your backpacks. I'm like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
You can see in there. You see what I have in there. Come on.
Good luck with that. And then all your accessories. That was the thing too. You're like, oh, I could fly with it. It's just all the accessories.
Yep. I mean, the power cord itself is like 4 pounds. I think it's massive.
Oh yeah, that brick. Yeah, that brick. Good luck with that. Oh man. All right, so it's Tuesday. We had an amazing weekend, right? Oh, I saw you posted a clip on your channel. You got to shout that out.
Yeah, I did. I posted the clip on my channel. I went for a hike with a girlfriend. We were up in the mountains. I went online real quick, showed you guys the view. We were being crazy up there. It's so freeing. You know, like you're just in the woods and it's quiet. We were on like a mountain peak. We were shouting off into the echo, into the sky.
Yeah, I saw it, and then I had to call the kids over because I was like, "Oh, look! What I've been telling you." Because I tell them all the time. I'm like, "Yo, you guys gotta just like. Sometimes it's okay just to like yell and just let it out. You know, just whatever you want to say, just like just let it out." And that's what you were doing. You were like, "Oh, we're yelling freedom!"
Yeah.
And top of the mountain. I was like, "Oh, that was dope." You felt empowered, right?
Yeah.
You're like, ready to take on the world.
Mm-hmm. Like a bird flew across, like as soon as like we finished yelling. It was so serene. It was definitely nice.
Yeah, and then you got stuck in traffic, right?
No, we didn't hit any traffic.
I was like, yeah, you feel so empowered, and then you get caught in traffic and get your little road rage going.
No traffic. Oh, you know what? Right. I've been having I had a great weekend. It was calm, it was relaxing, and I got to, hang out with a lot of friends and family. Um, we took the kids to a youth empowerment program. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Gave them the opportunity to kind of just see what it's about, to, start planting that seed of like, you're a child, but you have a voice and your opinion matters. You have an opinion and it counts and you can make a difference. So that's nice to get them involved with that.
Yep, that was pretty cool. That was on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I pretty much spent the whole day with you.
Yeah.
That was rough.
It was a good day.
Yeah, Sunday. Saturday we got the snowstorm.
Yeah. Yeah, it snowed all day.
What I'm loving though is like it snows and then it's like it's melting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like spring is around the corner. It's like, yeah, I got a little a little pep in my step. Like, yeah, it's gonna get warm soon. Yeah, I'm loving it. Like, yo, ready to go. Hey, Fuzz, good morning.
Good morning.
Fuzz, this episode's for you. You, Trist, all you guys. You guys are our inner circle right now.
Yep.
Let you guys know. So, yeah, if you guys, see the title, it's your inner circle of people, your tribe, and we're going to talk about that because it's not always, just family, right? It's not just family. It's the people who, in your point of life, where you are in your point of life, it's the people who are the most supportive, who's helping you, give you that foundation to help you keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that circle, it's so important because it can either, uplift you and motivate you and, keep you moving forward, keep you hopeful, or it could be, holding you back. It could be something very heavy and something that's keeping you from, reaching your full potential because you're stuck in a rut, you're in that negative atmosphere and it's weighing you down.
Right. And it's when you're trying to do something, the hardest part, because you have self-doubt, right? That's the biggest thing that's in your head. Like, oh, should I really be doing this? Can we do this? Am I going to make it? Those are the things you start thinking about. And it's crazy because when you start something, you're already fast forward into the future, right? You're always thinking about like the end result, the end outcome, but you don't really think about the day to day. And taking it day to day, like how do you grow something? How do you, it's like planting, just planting anything, right? It's like you gotta wait a while before you can get that fruit, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta wait, you gotta plant it, you gotta see little thing, little leaves just sprouting out, right? And you keep watering it and all that. And then before you know it, a few months goes by, and there you go. You got whatever you were growing, right? The vegetation. So it's like that's what you got to realize when we start anything. You can't, like, I know we think about the end result and that's what's motivating us, but we also have to understand that it takes time.
It's a process.
And with that, right, and with that, it also takes support. Mm-hmm. And so you have to put yourself around the right people.
Yep. And it's all about who you're choosing to share your energy, your essence with. Who are you, who are you spending the most time with? Is it people who are keeping you where you're at, or is it people who are already where you're trying to go, so they're inspiring you? Is it people who believe in you, or is it, people who are telling you, they're feeding into your self-doubt and they're like, oh, you can't do that. What are you talking about? That's not going to work out,
right. Right. And it's like that saying, and I know I've heard it different ways. It's like, the saying is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. All right. Hang on. I gotta take this.
Uh-oh.
Hello, this is Lynn.
So actually, while she's on the phone, I'll go ahead and debrief that we're gonna have to actually cut the show short today. We have to end it early because Lynn says she's going to court. I think she's getting pulled into jury duty or something. Mm-hmm. They caught the Museum of Modern Art stabber in PA and the serial killer shooting the homeless people. Oh, they caught both of them. I heard about the guy who was shooting the homeless people.
I know that was a stretch. I wasn't really.
So, fill us in more about the details as far as what was happening with that. But that's cool that they caught that guy, because that's just messed up. See, that's how demented the world's gone right now. And that's why I really do believe that we are on the right path to try to, do our part to shift the world from where it is right now. The world's leaning very negative, and that's why I believe in positivity and do this channel where we're coming together to try to empower more people to be more positive. As you can see, all the headlines right now is talking about World War III. It's all driving to that. And it's crazy because it's not happening, but you know it's going to happen because those are what the titles are calling for. Like, you know, you see a channel or you see like CNN, for example.
I don't want that.
They could just say, hey,
like he and I don't have a good relationship where
they have like
it's easy for us to do, you know, a switch off and that. Like
viewers, right?
Anytime that we're not switching through school, I want it to be limited. And that's in the best interest of our son.
They could always spin it.
He doesn't need to have that toxicity around him.
They could say, hey, what would it take for us to have peace, right? And make you think more positive. But no, that's that negative headline that brings, you know, that gets the clicks and gets the eyeballs onto the article or the video or, you know, whatever the content may be. And that's, I noticed this in the early 90s, like the news started driving more into fear. And now the news is just giving content that creates anxiety. All right, Fuzz, what are you saying? These people are trying to get free food and a bed in jail. U.S. jails ain't that bad. It's like resort compared to other countries. Yeah, you know what? I've heard stories of people like that where they'll just commit a crime just so they can have a warm place to sleep and, you know, have 3 meals a day. And that's completely true. Like, we complain about as Americans, we're very entitled.
Yeah, unfortunately, he and I don't have a good enough relationship where we can, schedule holidays
it's sad
and
because
stuff. So
if we were to
I
actually
definitely
travel
need,
more into
like,
the rest
for
of the
school
world,
breaks,
we would know that we are
you know, Richard's with
I mean,
him
we
or
have
Richard's with me.
More
now, if he wants to, you know,
more,
counter and say, oh, well,
comforts,
you know, he wants, you know, certain breaks,
some
that's
of the rich
fine.
people,
I'm leaving it up
let's
to him
say,
to
like
choose
50
the
years
breaks.
ago.
But if there's an extended
we
period of
have
time away from school, I feel that
we have modern
our son
refrigeration.
should be with one or the other.
You know, a working toilet.
You know, like even starting with this whole like splitting the time 50-50.
You know, even 100
years ago,
I wanted my son
where they didn't
have none of that stuff.
I wanted to be the one taking the lead in
elites,
school
and
and
they were at
everything.
the top,
and I was able to agree to the 50-50
pinnacle
split,
of
but I
mankind
need some kind
at the
of
time,
leeway from them.
You know, we just surpassed that, and we have so much now. We have so much. We have an abundance here in America, and I think that's what leans into the, you know, constant crying for more and more and more. It's like over the weekend, I heard something about fighting for women's rights. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, how much more rights do women need? I think if anything, women nowadays has more rights than men. I mean, look at family court. They have a de facto where, you know, the mother gets custody of the kids. You know, the father is a weekend warrior. You know, they have even divorce courts. You know, they go and they alimonies in favor of the woman. You know, I feel like as a society here in America, we tend to want to feel like we need a cause. And that goes back to the whole needing to belong, right? Being part of something. And that's where if you had your tribe, you had somebody strong, solid, and you felt that you were part of something, you could then leverage that into something more positive. Because I do feel like we have a lot of people walking around here with a victim mentality. And it's like, I think that's where we need to start stopping those cliche titles of, you know, I'm a woman, I'm a man, or I'm Hispanic, you know, I should be focusing in this group and start, you know, driving my message on this topic or this problem, when the reality is that we're all humans living this life. If we have the determination to make it, we're gonna make it. Right, we're going to be successful. Look at people like Oprah. You know, look at J-Lo. You know, look at these people who are different, but they made it in life. Len, you back?
I'm back.
Okay, you gonna fill us in on what you were talking about?
I was talking to my lawyer. I have court later for custody, so Just going through that. I want something, dad wants something else, and I'm fighting for what I want. I feel like I'm the one.
I told him you had jury duty.
What?
I told him you had yeah. I was like, Lynn has jury duty.
No. I have family court. Oh man, so many things. I wish I had chosen my inner circle better in the past.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well,
man.
hey, on the other side. I'm right there with you. Honestly, like when it comes to that, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's like, see, it's funny because we see the world in two different ways. Like you feel like you got the short end of the stick, but then I feel like I got the short end of the stick, and it's like it goes back to what we keep saying. The world is just toxic.
Yeah.
The world is just toxic right now. We need to start calling that out. Mm-hmm. Start saying, hey, look, why can't relationships, last? Mm-hmm. Especially when you got a child involved in the middle of it. Like, why can't you guys work better, right? Yeah. For the peace of the child that's involved, right? It's like unfortunately that's the world we're living in, where it's just everybody's just selfish.
Yes.
They're thinking about themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
And even if it's something like we don't have to dive into what you're fighting and all that, but even if it's something simple where the dad wants more time, mm-hmm. right? It's like, I get it. You fighting for more time. It comes from a good place, right? It's like he loves his kid. He wants to spend more time with his kid, but he has to also understand that for the betterment of the kid, it should be 50-50.
Yeah.
He needs a mom. He needs a dad,
yep.
So it's like, even to say that, it's like to call a father out and say, hey, you're being selfish, mm-hmm. sounds like you're in the wrong. But in the reality is you are being selfish because it's not in the best interest of the kid.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's the world we're living in, where that's the battles that are going on. The good thing is, like, it's not something as bad. Like, I've seen on like YouTube where like parents are just keeping the kids away just to get back at the other parent.
I've seen that too. That's heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking. At the end of the day, you're hurting your child.
Right. For whatever you think, whatever selfish gratification you're looking for, it's just going to cause problems to your child.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, like for me,
that's fun.
I always celebrate the holidays like off date, So like Christmas, I'll celebrate Christmas like a week early. And then Christmas Day, I always plan for my children to be with their father's families, so that they have like the best of both worlds, Like right. For us, we don't have a huge celebration Christmas Day. That's just not one of our traditions. So, for me, I was like, it's awesome that they get to participate in their family's traditions on those days. And like, I felt really empowered doing so. But now I feel like, well, I've set myself up for failure. Now I'm second guessing. Now I'm second guessing my decisions, even though like I had the best intentions. Like, there's no way to really portray that in my situation. It's kind of just like, oh, you just didn't care. No, I didn't. That's not what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And it sucks because it's like every time you think you're doing something with good intentions, there's always somebody who can manipulate what you did in your actions to make you look better.
Yeah.
And that's just the person's frame. They're just coming from a negative place. So that's why they're good at that. But they're good at manipulation because, it's just a negative trait. Mm-hmm. Where it's like somebody who's positive, they're going to know, how to be like optimistic. Right? Mm-hmm. Like that's one thing. Oh no, I'm moving around. I kicked it. It's like somebody who's always optimistic, right? They know how to take a bad situation and make the best out of it, mm-hmm. right? That's because a person, they just got that positive frame. They come from a positive place. Whereas somebody who's in a negative place, they're always like, how can I get one over somebody who's trying to get one over me, right? It's always like, I can never live like that. Because I always feel like you're always like having like, one eye over your shoulder, like who's out to get me?
Yeah.
So Fuzz said, show me your friends and I will show you your future.
That's a tough one.
That's deep.
That's a tough pill to swallow when you're young, like like middle school, high school age, because you're trying so hard to like find your place where you fit in. That sometimes you may like ignore certain like characteristics about people, certain traits that maybe you don't want in your future, but you want so badly to have your group of friends that you're allowing it around you. So that's a dangerous place to be. And then when you're older too, like you may be involved with the same kind of people, and like look at the trouble they're getting into, and it's true that probably is your future too.
Sorry, my ring light went down. I'm still listening. I'm like, what the hell? It just like shut off on me. It's not dead. It's still working.
Yeah.
It's like,
I had a friend share with me the other day that she got caught doing something on vacation. She was like in Florida on vacation. She went to Walmart and she was doing self-checkout, and like she wasn't scanning every item. So like they caught her. And like she was like she went straight to jail. They didn't even take her to the police station, nothing. Like they took her straight to jail.
What?
And like that was her, scared straight moment, because it was like, holy crap, shit. I'm on vacation. Like I'm stuck in another state. Like what? Yeah, you gotta be careful of who you have around you.
So she was doing the scan you, skip a few?
Yeah.
And they caught her.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep, out of state. She
wasn't
even like home, She was traveling with kids. Like, it was hard.
And she went, so they were like, yo, so how did she get out? I'm just curious.
Somebody had to post bail, and she has to go back for her court appearance.
Oh shit, so she has to fly back to this country and wherever she was?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sucks. All right.
What are you working on over there? I'm interested.
My ring light, see?
Oh, you're still messing with it. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It has battery. Like I pushed a button and all of a sudden it turns off. Which is funny because like I tested all this when I got it on Saturday. I think it was Saturday that I got it. And I was all excited. So I did like a little demo video. The kids were on it and everything. And everything was working fine. Now all of a sudden it's like, bloop. Now I'm all in the shadows again. Like, oh no. Which I'm curious because this whole time it's been off. So I wonder how the lighting looks. I'll look on the iPad. Let me see. Let's see how the lighting's looking. Is it good? Is it capturing my good side?
Yeah, so when you're trying to, create the life that you want, and you're trying to decide, like, where you want to go in the future, a good place to start is to look within. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, like, when you journal, you're able to, like, really learn what's on your heart, what's on your mind. So I always, recommend journaling. But it's a chance for you to just be alone with your thoughts, and you're writing down your thoughts, and, you can read them again and see them again. And it's almost like you're like confirming what's on your mind by putting it down on paper.
Right.
So journaling it's a really good exercise to do.
Right. And going back to what you were saying about school. I totally agree with you because like when you're at that age, you're just looking for somebody who can bond with you, right? Mm-hmm. You want to feel accepted. You want to feel like you're a part of community, right? And the community at the time, it's school, right? So you're going through, and the first thing you see is like a bully, right? A bully's like will make fun of you for whatever flaws that they can obviously see, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go from there, and you're like, all right, I need to find some sort of acceptance, right? I want to fit in because this feels weird, right? I go home and I'm loved at home, and then I come to school and this guy's messing with me, right? Mm-hmm. And so the first person who comes up to you, that's the person who you're going to gravitate to, right?
Right.
Because you're like, oh, I'm accepted. Acceptance. And at that point, that's when you got to realize, and I know, like, I'm talking kids. Kids don't know any better. But I'm saying even when as an adult, that's when you have to realize you got to be able to read people. And that goes from, like you were saying, you got to have a strong foundation. You got to have a strong boundary. Mm-hmm. So you got to know yourself. You got to know, like, hey, is this person toxic, or is this person, um, just somebody good that I need in my life,
Yeah. How does it, how it makes you feel afterwards? Like, do you feel drained and depleted? Like, are they, filling your cup, or are they depleting it? Are they taking away from your cup?
Right.
Your energy,
Right.
your vibe,
Right. Are they a
your
time
essence.
waster? Are they a time waster?
Exactly. Is it somebody who you dread to be around?
Right.
Is it somebody who you look forward to being around?
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing you got to understand. Like, there's a lot of narcissists in this world. And narcissists, they love just feeding off of people's energy.
Mm-hmm.
Energy vampires. They're just like, especially if you're like a bubbly, happy person, they feed off of that. Because naturally, they can't be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to feed off of other people's misery to be happy. Right? Oh, whoa, we got comments. Hold up. Tris said, hola. How are the Spanish lessons going? They're going good. We had one yesterday, actually, in person.
In person.
Because I was doing errands yesterday on that side of town. And so I was like, I'm just going to go do it in person. Friday, though, there was a little hiccup on Friday because he had a lesson and it was all in English. And I was like, hold up, I'm not learning a word. I'm not learning a lick of Spanish. So I was like, I want a refund. He's like, refund? He was like, you're paying for this? And I'm like, yeah, I want a refund. You're taking my time. So if you can't present me something that I'm learning, I want $100. He's like, $100? He's like, I don't have $100. So yesterday he was prepared. We took the 2 lessons, and we were going through conjugating the verbs.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was good. It was good. And then Fuzz said, when I was younger, the streets were rough. I needed guys that can watch my back at school. That is true. That's true. Like, there's always those cliques, And it could just be like, once again, you got that bully who's just messing with you, right? And you need a somebody who can watch your back, which is probably the other guy that the bully was messing with too, right? But as you grow up, and this is where a lot of people get confused too, because I have, my childhood friends, but a lot of them, it's sadly to say, but a lot of them, I'm loving them from a distance. Like, I'm not really dealing with them as often as I did back in school, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we communicate. We may like once a year or something, we do like a get together or something like that. But it's not on a day-to-day basis. There's only a few people right now that I do communicate on a day-to-day basis. And those are the people who are my confidants,
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the timing is perfect for the show because it was over this weekend that I finally, my 2 closest friends right now, I finally came out and said, hey, look, I'm doing this YouTube thing. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, really? Send me the link. So I sent them the link. And that's where one of them was like, hey, I can't see you. And I was like, oh, damn, I need a ring light. So I ordered it. I mean, it's kind of cool. Let me show it again. It's cool because it just clips on right onto the phone. You see? I don't know. Does it really do a difference? I don't know. Maybe it's too small. But like, I got it.
It makes a difference.
I'm trying to like keep everything like all mobile right now. So that way, when I'm out there, we gotta figure it out.
Summertime is coming.
Yeah, summer. Yeah. You see it out there? It melts, man. I'm ready. I got a pep in my step.
Yeah, this is the time of the year where you can actually feel like the warmth from the sun. Because it could be a sunny day in January, but it's still cold. Like, you don't feel any warmth. But, like, now, like, the sun is starting to feel warmer.
Right. You can just walk around in a sweater and you're like, oh, this is great.
I don't know about that. I still have my coat on and still zipped. Still bundled up. But I feel it on my face. Like, ooh, it feels so warm.
Hey, yo, Tris. That's what she said. Tris goes, there's nothing wrong with small. And I was like, Tris, that's what she said. It gets the job done. Oh, it's funny when my kids say that. I'm like, oh, what the? And it's like, I can't really get mad at them
for them to be old enough to like use that in a sentence? Like, wait a minute. What? Perfectly executed.
Yeah. Like, I know my youngest, I don't think he understands it, but he does get he's, perfect execution. And I'm like, I can't get mad at him when he says it. It's like hilarious. I start laughing. I'm like, hey, his timing is good. He's a little comedian, I swear. Kid's a Muppet. I'm telling you, I still want to make his Muppet, and I want to do like video clips of like his Muppet doing crazy things. Especially now that he's like super into wrestling. Like the other day, he so he's the youngest, right? And so they're wrestling, and like his two older brothers, they're 12 and 13. They were, whooping his ass, and rightfully so because they're bigger than him, right? Mm-hmm. But he was like, so they took a break. They were watching the next segment, of SmackDown or whatever. And then when the commercial came, he goes and he darts off, right? And he just like uses the momentum of the wall to jump kick one of his brothers. So he knocked out like one of his brothers. And then his other brother, the bigger one, he goes and he uses his whole weight, jumps on his head, and pulls him down. So he had no choice but to roll forward with his gravity because, he just used his whole like weight to take him down. I was like, damn.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
I was like, he whooped both of your asses. I was like, that was so epic. I wish I was recording that whole thing because it was epic. Just like how he was able to do that.
Yeah.
Determination,
He's like a little monkey. He like jumps up on things. Like he's so agile.
Yeah, he has so much energy. You know what I say? I say he has a raging testosterone. Mm. So if you ask him like, Ollie, why are you so crazy? He'll probably be like, it's because I have testosterone. Yeah.
It's good that they know that they recognize that. That's so important. That's something that we really don't talk about as society. As like men are supposed to have testosterone. Hello.
Yeah, like, but it's crazy. It's not even that. They take it to the extreme. Like how men are supposed to bond, physically, mm-hmm. right? Just like we bond physically with a woman, we bond physically with men in the sense that we fight each other, right? We challenge each other, stuff like that. And then if men do that nowadays, it's like, oh, toxic masculinity.
Right.
So it's like, I'm like, we do it, like they do it at home all the time. Like they riff on each other, they pick on each other, but they do it in a loving way. Like you could tell when somebody's bullying you and when somebody's trying to like push you to be better.
Yeah.
Right? Like to toughen you up. And so like they talk trash to each other, they're always competing, be it a video game or whatever it may be, they're always competing. And it's just like that's how men grow, Mm-hmm. We need that. And going back to the whole inner circle and the tribe, as for me, as a man, I need that guidance, right? And when I had my son, nobody taught me like, how do you raise, a boy to be a man, mm-hmm. right? Because it's different. And as much as people say, no, you need that masculine energy. All kids need that. Girls too. They need to know what it is, what's masculine energy, what's feminine energy. Mm-hmm. And no knock on single parents. Look, if I get it, if your situation calls for that, it's more power to you for being able to survive that. But your kid still needs, that masculine energy. They need their father. Mm-hmm. So I'm telling you, Lynn, work it out. Work it out. Come to some agreements. Because it's what's best for the kid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you know what? I feel like I've done so much to keep like their fathers in their lives, and I just feel like enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm not asking for the world. Like, they need to bend a little too. I can't be the only one bending and giving. Like, enough. I've bent enough. It's time to, like, meet me halfway. What I was going to say was, like, so for my kids, like, they're just mean to each other. Like, there's just I don't know, like a darkness that I really don't like, and I don't know how to get through to them with it, and like when they pick on each other, I feel like they're really like taking some stuff out on each other, and so like that brings me to the point of like you have to look at yourself too, and you have to see like, are you a toxic person? You know, are you depleting energy from people, or are you like feeding it into them? It's something that, you know, we have to become more aware of. And it's something I'm
Right.
trying to teach my children. Like, man, like, nobody wants to be around you. Fix yourself.
You're toxic.
Jeez. Like, how do you say that to a kid in a nice way? Like,
You say it.
I love
You
you.
say it.
I don't like you.
Look, honestly, maybe it's something that I got from my mom, but I don't sugarcoat anything. Like, I'll just say it. Like, I have, like, no filter. I'll say it, but then I'll come back and then show you, like, hey, how you gotta fix it.
Yeah.
Like, haven't I asked you before, like, Lynn, are you the bitch in your group?
You have.
And you got offended. And I'm like, because I see all your friends and they seem all nice and they're gonna ask me somebody who's the bitch in your group. So maybe, is it you? Is it you that your kids are learning this from?
No. I keep saying no. No, it's funny though, because I look at all my friends and I really haven't. Oh, my attorney's calling me back again.
Wah, wah.
Hello, this
We
is
gotta
Lynn.
get back to that thought. She just like
Hi.
didn't finish it. All right, so let's go to the comments. Fuzz said, when I was a kid, I was a bad kid. I can't believe the stuff I used to do. And you know what? That's fine because you were testing boundaries. But now that you know, hopefully you're not out there still doing bad things as an adult, you know? There's certain levels. Like I was a bad kid. I did bad things. And it's funny because, you know, I think about the
I
punishment
don't
my
understand
mother,
why we
did to
swap
try to get me in
some and
line.
not the others. That doesn't
And
make
it's
any
like,
sense.
I'm grateful she did it. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful how my life turned out. I wouldn't even
Right.
go back in time and change anything. But I think about it and I'm like, there's a whole different standard in today's day and age where I couldn't do those things. And even though my mom wasn't that like crazy, like whipping, like she would, the biggest thing my mother had was if we did bad in school. Like she was very adamant, like you got to do school so you get, you know, go to college, get a good life, get a good career and all that stuff. And so her thing was if I did bad in school, you know, she was like, go take a shower. And I knew what was coming. I knew the belt was coming. And it
This
was
is so
like,
ridiculous.
I haven't done
It
that
would be a
to my
lot
kids.
easier
And I
if,
don't
like,
think
you
I have
could
the
sit
heart to
here
do
and
that
talk
to my
me
kids.
so we could
Because it's just a
negotiate
different
something.
time, right? It's a whole different, like, I don't even think it's hard. Like, I don't feel bad. I know they would get over it. It's just the whole fearfulness of now here comes the government saying, you know, I'm abusing my kid. I'll tell you what, though, I scared the shit out of my kid. I was like, yo, this is what grandma used to do. This is what I grew up with. You know, if you get any worse, this is what's coming. And he was like, oh, shit. You know, am I going to get whooped? I don't want to get whooped. And so I started seeing, you know, an improvement in his behavior. So it's like, I don't know, just as growing up, you got to take the life you live and you got to ask yourself, where is it that you want to go? You know, do you want to keep being that bad kid growing, you know, even though you're an adult doing crazy things?
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I don't see
I know you're
life
saying
black
this is
or
it,
white.
but can I
You know,
offer
there
like
are
one
gray
more solution
areas.
for like the February
And,
break? Can we just alternate it annually?
I know how
where,
to
like,
dance
he
in
gets
that
even
sometimes.
years and I
You know,
get
I'm
odd
actually
years?
surprised I haven't been caught in some things I've done. But, you know, as I get older, I'm like, I talk to myself. I say, hey, Ray, is that something you want to keep doing? You want to keep risking, you know, everything you worked hard for? Or do you want to be better? You know, you've got to have that desire and that hunger inside
listening.
you to be a better person.
Makes zero
And
sense.
I think within the last couple of years,
All right, so we are gonna swap
where I felt my
regular spring
life
break
reached the
and
like
Christmas
pinnacle of just, it was like 2016, 2017, where just life and work and just like home and work was just kind of like shitting on me. And at that point, I was like, there has to be something better. There has to be something more, because I feel like I was just a robot. I was just a robot going through the same things over and over again.
break. Right, which
And,
I don't like the weeks divided to begin with.
Fortunately
guess
for
we'll
me,
end up-
once again,
Yeah.
my two closest friends right now, one was at work, you know, and one was one of my childhood friends, and they were the ones who were able to help me out of,
So I went
you
to
know,
court
those
and I
rut in
asked
life,
for weekdays
as far
and Dad
as,
could
you
have
know,
weekends
home life being
and school
difficult
time
and
off.
then work being
And
difficult.
his lawyer was the one who
And
drafted
so,
this 50-50, and the attorney,
You know, I was just like, I
judge
had,
was
that's
just
when
like,
I
yeah,
had
we'll
my
put that in
epiphany
place
and
for now.
awakening where I was like, there got to be something more. I feel like I'm just a robot going through the same movements. And I was like asking myself, really, what's the point of it all? You know, what's the point of it all? Where is this going? Like, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over. And eventually, you know, thanks to my friend at work, that's where he got me geared towards the whole.
So going
you know, ask the
trial,
universe what you want. Look into your
for residential custody,
your spirit, your inside. Heal yourself. You know, be more connected. Be more present with life. And that's where I started questioning, you know, spirituality and just the universe overall and just how we're all connected. And that's where I started gearing my life towards that path.
Okay.
And at the time, I think it was like 2017, we got into crypto. And so we were like, yo, we want to get out of the work. Work sucks. Let's get into crypto. We're going to make our money. And, you know, it's going to be great. Right.
Okay.
And
so,
the crypto run up happened. It crashed. We didn't cash out.
And then I will
we were just like,
before we see the judge today.
From then until like now, we were just like, oh, it's going to go back up. It's going to go back up. Like we were just savoring, waiting. And then at one point he was like, look, if we really believe this, we got to take the next step. Let's just write a check to ourselves for, you know, how much we think we're going to make. And what is it going to take for us to be happy and be fulfilled in life? So I wrote that check and no shit, the amount that I put down on that check, I made it out for 2020. It didn't happen in 2020. It happened in 2021. So I was off by like a year, but I hit that amount. And I never thought in my wildest dream in my life, I would ever see that amount. Now, are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm listening.
All right. Is it good? Are we good? Thumbs up?
We'll see. I have court later. Man,
I'm like, every time you call,
so
I'm like,
stressful.
oh no.
It's so stressful, man. Like, honestly, like, I don't mind sharing. So, I want, like, there's extended periods of school breaks. So, like, we'll have spring break, which is a week off. We have, like, a February recess, which is a week off. We have Christmas break, which is a week off. So, I want to alternate those weeks so that he and I don't have to see each other. Like, either you have him this year for that break, and then next year I have him kind of thing. Like, let's just split our time that way. And Dad's like, no. Like, he wants to continue, like, seeing him. So right now, like, I have my son, like, Monday, Tuesdays. He has him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we do every other weekend. So he wants to continue that. He wanted to continue that through the summer. And I was like, no. No. So it's just a battle of the wills.
So I'm going to tell you what the court's going to do. The court's going to make sure that both of you lose in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't, right. If you don't walk away without feeling like you lost, then the court didn't do its job.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to do something where it's going to be a hybrid of those weeks that are off. Like it's going to be every other one. So you're going to get like spring break, right?
Right.
And then he'll get the next one, and then you know it's going to be like that.
Right, and that's what I'm trying for. Like I'm cool with that for every other year, but like Dad over here is like, that he doesn't want to do those breaks at all, but he still wants like Christmas Day. So like he wants to make it so that like I can't have like extended days without him, and I also can't have extended days with him. And I feel like it's more of a control thing than actually thinking about like what's best for our son.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely a control thing.
Yeah.
I can tell. It's
so how do I get that message across to the attorney? How do I get that message across to the judge?
Ironically though, this would normally be the other way around. Mm-hmm. Like it would be the mother that's doing the ego trip and the controlling thing, and the dad's getting screwed. And talking from experience, as far as like knowing other people's stories, New York is like very progressive when it comes to that. So they have a father who just shows like he cares. They're gonna cater to him.
Yeah.
It's ironic. So all I can say is good luck. Mm-hmm. Good luck. Yeah. Honestly, really, at the end of the day, really what you're supposed to be fighting for is 50-50, right?
Right.
50-50. So keep fighting for 50-50. That's it. That's all I can say. All right. So what were you saying before the phone rang? I forgot. Let's backtrack a little.
I don't know. let me see. I'm looking at my notes here. I know it's talking about, like, reflecting on yourself, seeing if, you have toxic energy, if you're depleting the people you're around, or if you're, uplifting, or, just focusing on who you are.
Oh, yeah, I know what we were talking about. So, like I've asked you in the past, are you the bitch in your group?
Oh. It's so funny because this comes up, and, like, I tell my girlfriends, too. I'm like, yo, this is what my brother said. And they're like, yo. And then they're like, I feel like that's always what I get. That's always what I get. So I don't know. Maybe I
am. and maybe that's what your kids are picking off of, because you're like, oh, they're so mean.
They are. They're so mean to each other. Maybe I'm the source of it? No way. That's not it.
Are you in denial? Sounds like you might be in denial.
Yeah, but there's definitely an animosity among them that, like, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that they can be, like, that mean towards each other. It's almost like they want to, tear the other one down versus lifting them up.
See, but now let me ask you, what's your reaction when you do that? Because when I hear something like that, ooh, I'm like, you just broke one of the tenants in the household. So, like, my boys, if one of them, and it's probably my youngest, I tear him up. Like, I tear him up. I'll tear them all up if I feel like they're neglecting their brother.
Yeah.
For whatever reason it may be. Like, no, that's not happening in my home. And, like, since they were little, I've always instilled in them that, like, look, I'm going to die. But whenever my time comes, it is what it is. However, you guys got each other.
Right.
And you'll always have each other. And that's how it should be. Because I know, like, and there's been times when I had to text you, Lane, I need you to go here. And sure enough, no matter what time it was, you would go.
Yeah.
Right? So that's like that. That's what I've always kind of like there's no boundaries. There's no crossing that. Like, I understand you making fun of each other. Like, the other day, they were playing WE 2K22. Great game, by the way. Great game. Because they're like downloading characters. There was a fight where it was like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Green Goblin, and Venom. Because they like, people are creating their characters, so you could just download them, and they're all wrestling in the ring and everything. I was like, oh, this game is awesome. But they were playing it, right? And of course, my youngest, he was getting heated because he couldn't win, right? And he went and he punched his brother in the balls. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, hey! I lost my shit. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, if you can't beat him, it's not on him, it's on you. Get good, get better. But if you don't do that shit, that's your brother. You know, like, I lost my shit on him. And that's just me. That's just the way I am. So it's like, how do you react? How do you react when you see something like
read
that?
the comments. Look what Trish just wrote. Oh.
So my parents told me that back in the day, their parents would make them lick salt off of each other's back when they fought amongst siblings. Yeah, here you go. Like, I'm gonna rat out. I'm a rat out. So I was helping Grandma yesterday, and Grandma happened to mention to tell me that one of your children want to make fun of her brother for not having a door.
Right.
And it's like, hey, he's going through the punishment, he's doing the time. You want to throw salt in his eyes? So, are you gonna follow through with what you said you were gonna do?
I am. She's gonna lose her door too. But the thing is with them, like, being mean to each other, I don't see it. They don't do it in front of me. They, like, do it behind my back. They whisper it, and then, like, when I finally hear about it, it's almost like old news.
Gotcha.
You know?
So you don't really get a chance to react. Like, they're not doing it in front.
No, I'm not. I don't really see it happening. But I don't know. Like, I do see things that just, like, bothers me. Like, I know, like, my son, my oldest, like, he's practicing avoidance. where he just like avoids being in certain rooms and with certain people around, and like that's heartbreaking too, because it's like, you know, how did you get to this point? Like I don't think my children have like that sense of like brotherhood amongst each other. You know? And it doesn't help, you know, with the custody battle, because my youngest isn't in the house a lot. So, like, he's kind of, like, missing out, too. Like, he doesn't really have the interactions with his siblings that he would if we were just, you know, home together.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of parts.
Well, you gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
That's the responsibility of a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my daughter, Grandma did just tell me this, and I was just like, what? That's crazy. like, how dare she? She really is, like, picking on him because he doesn't have a door.
Yeah. When, mind you, once again, and that's, you gotta instill that in your kids. It's like, look, your first inner circle that you are going to grow is family. Mm-hmm. Right? For whatever it may be. Siblings, your parents, you know, that's, you know, even distant family, cousins and all that. It's like, that's your inner circle, right? That's going to be the first one that you're going to know of before you even develop friends in school.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, like she doesn't realize, like, that's her older brother. Like, if she ever gets into a jam in school, like, he would be the one to, like, yo, why you messing with my sister kind of deal. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, she doesn't get that?
No, like, because, like, they've been in the situation where, like, he could have been, like, like, stuck up for her, and he hasn't. He's chosen not to.
Because of the way she is.
Yeah. But that's what she doesn't get. That's not what, she doesn't understand that.
Right. Like, I get that. I get why... Like, at that point, his actions was like the effect of, you know, her cause. You know, it was like, oh, now you want me to come? Now you want to be nice.
Why?
Right.
You know, you're an asshole to me. Like, why would I? No.
Yeah. It's sad. You got to work on that.
It
is. You got to do some team building exercises with your kids. Like, oh. Like, they gotta realize that they're going through that. Like, you're all going through the, like, all right, me and you may have problems, but we're going through the same shit together, which is school and home.
Right.
Because as a kid, you're going through the shit at home. You gotta do chores, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta do whatever mom says, whatever she wants at that time, right? Oh, you didn't do good in school, now you gotta hear it at home. Mm-hmm. You know? Like, those are the things, like, it's like, I don't get that. That's weird to me. You gotta fix that. That's heartbreaking to hear, because it's like, at some point, what are they gonna do? They're gonna grow up and they're just gonna be distant with each other?
It seems like it.
And
that's honestly the future I see. I don't see them, like, I know, just like being there for one another.
I think you gotta instill that in them. Hopefully it's not too late.
Feels like it is. Shit.
Cheers said it sounds like you gotta buy a lot of salt. Oh, you know what though? I think one is spice and they're gonna be like, fuck this. I don't want to like salt on my brother's back no more.
But will it be genuine, like them changing their ways, or will it just be like, oh, we have to get better at like covering it up for mom? Because they have that mentality of like, oh, as long as mommy doesn't know, we're good.
I think you gotta do stuff where they gotta work together to like achieve a goal or something.
Mm-hmm. Actual like team building.
Yeah, like no, like have them build something. Yeah. Like, yo, you gotta build this or not, you know. Like, buy something dope, but it's in pieces, and they gotta like build it. And if they don't work together to build it, they can't use it. That's like literally that's what that sounds like. Oh, we gotta work together. And when you do something like that, it's like there's an outcome, right? There's an outcome where it'll be like, oh, look, we got something, and then like that whole memory, like you're building that memory where it's like, hey, we bonded.
Yeah.
Because it just sounds like they don't bond.
They don't. They definitely like see each other as like opposing sides.
So let me ask you this, because it's the same scenario like me and you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's older brother, younger sister, right? What did we do to bond that we still have, after all these years, we're still close? To the point where we're doing the YouTube channel together.
I don't even know. Like, honestly, like, I feel like you and I fought a lot until you moved out. And I'm like, do I just wait until they're older and then it'll work itself out?
Did we fight a lot? I don't see that in our... We didn't fight a lot. All I remember was we would play around. You would, like, get hurt or something that you didn't like. You would go running to Mom, and then, like, 5 minutes later, you would come back. To the point where Mom even said that. Mom was like, you know what? I don't even want to hear it anymore. Because I want to yell at him, and then you're going to be right there playing with him again. Mm-hmm. That's all I remember. Like, I don't remember us fighting. Because like, when I left, you were like, what, 11?
Yeah. I was young.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, why is it because of the age gap? Like, they're so closer? So they're more, like, there?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that is like an issue because they're so close in age. And like my daughter being the younger one, she's like competing to be the oldest, which isn't really something that she can win at. But that's what she wants. She wants to be like the oldest, and like she's always like challenging him, and he's not huge at taking a stance. Mm-hmm. So he kind of just like lets her do whatever, and then he just like avoids her.
You know what I could say too is she's headstrong, you're headstrong. Mm-hmm. Like, I really don't see you acquiescing to a man ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's all. I'm gonna just throw that out there. Like, I think that's why your relationships don't go well, because you don't let the man lead. And when I say that, you always come back, well, if I had a man who could lead me, right?
Right. And that's what I'm thinking now.
So I'm like, I see that, and could it be that? Like, that's why she wants to take that leadership role? Because she sees you? Up. Right. And then in the end, all she's doing is she's emasculating him. That's why he wants to avoid her.
Yeah.
Because
that's exactly what's going on.
She's emasculating him, and the reality is like he could whoop her ass. Mm-hmm. So maybe you should let him whoop her ass. I don't know. Look. As a man, that's how it would be. We would get like, yo, you got beef. Let's go fight it out. And then like my one bully, we got into a fight, and now he's like one of my friends. Mm-hmm. So it's, I don't know. I'm just trying to throw things out there. Fuzz got some comments going. Let's go. Fuzz said, my parents used to let me and siblings out from dawn to dusk. We used to create havoc. We were known as the bad seeds. Oh, jeez. I don't know if she wants that either, Fuzz. Like, yeah, you know what? We'll be like 2 episodes. Like, we'll be like a couple of episodes later, and she'll be like, "Yeah, they definitely bonding now, but they're just causing havoc. They burned down my neighbor's house." And then Fuzz said, "I remember making my brother into a slave after he broke my mom's favorite mug." Ooh, so you were blackmailing him.
That's what it sounds like.
You were blackmailing him. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they truly have like the whole sibling rivalry going on in my house.
They really do?
They really do. They're like competing with each other to put the better grades on the fridge. So like somebody came with like a 98, and that was the first one, and then somebody came with 100, and then my youngest came with a 103, and we were all like, "Yo, he's showing you guys up." So now it's about the extra credit points on the test. Like, they're always competing.
But that's awesome. That's a good That's good, healthy competition.
That one is.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good because that motivates you, and that's what you want. Like, you want that from your inner circle to be able to push yourself to be a better person.
Yeah.
Right. It's when it's the other way around. Like, who could be the worst one?
Yeah.
oh, you broke that, and let me watch me do this now. Like, hopefully they're not doing that. Like,
we don't have that. We don't have that in the house. I told you, like, there's still, I instilled enough fear in them when they were younger to where, like, they know after a certain point, don't push me, but I don't know. I feel like they're just, like, pushing the boundaries right now, testing me, and I'm like, ugh.
So Fuzz said he started smoking cigarettes at 12 years old.
Oh, wow. That's young.
You feel,
wow. You see, but
young.
were you hanging out with an older crowd because you were looking for that protection in school? Like, for that group that, like, you just felt safe with? Or did you start smoking cigarettes because of something at home?
Well,
like,
I'll tell you one thing.
What was the alert?
I'll tell you one thing. Out of all of our kids, your daughter is the one who's probably going to do something like that. I can see her doing something like that.
Don't say that about my baby girl. Don't speak out there.
And I can see her doing that, like, soon.
Ooh. I was thinking that. And, like, my fear is that, like, right now, you know, she's in middle school, and middle school is, like, where they're big on vaping.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, like, concerned that, like, that's where she's going to...
Honestly, I would have the conversation with her. Be like, yo, have you vaped yet? Because chances are she's probably done it.
I have spoken to her, actually. I do. I have those conversations with her. Look at me.
And unfortunately, the reason why I say that is because she's the only one that I see that thinks she's grown.
Yeah.
Like, everybody else kind of still act their age, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know if it goes back to the whole, like, oh, women are more mature than men kind of deal, you know, growing up and stuff like that. Or it's just the things you let her get away with sometimes.
Right.
I feel like she thinks she's grown. And this is why there's always a conflict. Like I know there's always been that conflict where she doesn't like it when I'm around, right?
Mm-hmm. But that's not true. That's not true. She feels that you don't like her. She senses that. And I tell her, I'm like, baby girl, you do too much.
I love all my nieces and nephews. However, unfortunately, I'm in a predicament where I see how you treat her. I see how Ma treats her. Mm-hmm. She gets away with murder. I kind of gotta be the opposite. It's like that whole thing. It's like it's that balance, you know? Mm-hmm. Balance. So like, if you guys give her all that good and make her feel like she's the princess and all that stuff, I gotta kind of be like, yo, you're a human being. Life sucks, and you know you're not always gonna get what you want. And I see it sometimes. Like I see when she's being the bossy one in the group, and I'm like, is that what your mother told you? Like, what are you doing over here? Mm-hmm. You know? And like, that's where she's like, Theo said something. I feel like I hate it because, you know, I do have to play that bad guy role. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I feel like she can challenge authority and you let her get away with that.
See, I don't see that.
You and grandma.
I know definitely grandma. Like, grandma has had a huge influence on her. Huge
But it's
influence.
You too. It's you too.
I don't know. I don't see her getting away with murder.
She's getting away with murder. Look at the way she dressed.
But that's like not... I feel like that's something completely different.
And she wears clothes like she's 16. Hi, guys. I'm watching. When you guys were young, Lynn would complain about you. And when I came to hit Lynn, would stand in front of you and say, don't hit my brother. Yes, all the time. That's right. Whenever you would come in, like, what the hell's going on here? Why is she on the floor crying? And she would come with, whoop my ass. No, not my brother. Yeah, I remember that.
See, I don't really have those memories. Yes. I feel like I was so young that I don't remember that.
Yes.
Like, the memories like that I do have are very few because when I really started developing my, like, long-term memory, what was I? Like, 9, 10, and then 11 you were out, like...
That's when when you look back in your life, you can only remember at the age of 9?
I don't have a lot of memories from, like, kindergarten, first, second. I don't really remember those years, no.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I can remember stuff, like, when I was, like, 4 years old. That's crazy.
I mean, I might have, like, a memory from, like, 5, and, like, a memory from, like, 7, but, like, really thinking back and, like, trying to remember those years as a whole, I don't remember shit back then.
You need to lay off of this for a little bit. You're killing some brain cells from those memories.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you what. If this helps me kill some bad memories, I'm all for it. I could get rid of some bad memories. I could data dump some of that shit. All right, so let's get back more into the inner circle. How do we grow that? How do we feed that? How do we develop that?
So I was talking to my girlfriend the other day. I was like, yo, I want to start having like a dinner party every night that I like host at my house, and like I just have like my tribe over, because I do want to spend more time with the people
with your tribe.
I want to be intentional with the people I have around and spend time with. So I think it's about where you put your focus, your energy into. You know, like. So
I know you mentioned, because you know, after we get off the air on the show, we kind of do a debrief. We kind of talk about it. Hey, what could we done better in the show? You know, what should we do for the next one? Kind of prep and all that. And I know you started talking about the one, which I never heard the story before, and it's ironic because it's like the same story. So it's actually, it shows that this is. It's not like it's just your story. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you're on this path, the universe provides, right? And so when you told me this story, I was like, wow, that's my same story. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead and tell your story, and then I'll chime in when it's my turn.
All right. So one of the ladies that I actually do a lot of traveling with, her and I worked for Enterprise together. She started before me, so I was there for 7 years. I think she was there for like 7.5 years. And a couple months before actually like leaving Enterprise, and like I had a plan, you know, I knew when I was leaving, when I was working until I had gotten together with her, and like it turns out that she was also like in preparation to leave. And similar to me, like she decided that she wanted a change, but she didn't know where she wanted to go yet. So we both left Enterprise around the same time. And I hit her up a couple weeks ago, and I just sent her a text. I was like, yo, have you learned how to make money on the internet yet? And she like hit me right back. She was like, yo, I'm so glad you reached out. She actually invested in like a course, and she felt like she wasn't really like sticking to it. You know, she really didn't have that that accountability part. So she's now brought me on, and we're taking the course together, and we're learning how to, you know, set up a website for like a drop shipping kind of thing.
Awesome.
But just having like that person there that you could bounce ideas off of, who can like, you know, you feel accountable to them. So it's like, oh, I know they're going to ask me tomorrow, like, what have you done? So I feel like more
exactly
like I have to do it. So I have something to say, something to present, something to contribute.
Right, and it's funny too, because like you were telling me the story, and I was like, yo, that's how it was with me at work and my coworker. Like we both got into crypto, and you know, unfortunately, I was able to, you know, I got my blessing early, because I had bought more, right, and so I was able to get out last year. And so as soon as we spoke, as soon as we debriefed, I got on the phone. You know, I went for a walk to clear my mind, kind of just like motivate myself, get one with nature. And that's what we used to do when we were at work. When work was like shitty, around lunchtime, we would just go and we would just walk around. And we just kept, as we were walking, we would just talk about what it is that we want. We kept putting it out there in the universe, right? So we kept saying, yo, it's gonna go up, all this. And so after I went for my walk, I called him. He was like, hey, I'm leaving work now. If you want to talk, let's talk. And so I talked, and I was like, yo, I really want to say thank you for, you know, motivating me throughout the years, because when things were down, you know, you kept me up to the point where there was times where I was like, I don't want to hear about that coin. I don't want to hear it. And he was like, you gotta believe, right? Like he always kept the faith. And, you know, in all sincerity, I called him and I was like, I want to say thank you for always believing, you know, thanks to you, my life is different now for the better. And I want you to know that I'm still rooting for you. And I know that your time is coming. Just stay motivated. No matter how much, you know, they shit at you at work, just keep hustling, right? And he's like, don't worry, I'm always motivated. That's me. You can't take that away. And I was like, that's what I want to hear, you know? So, you know, we fed off each other.
Yes.
And like you said, it held accountability, and it was also motivation. So the person if you're looking at the person to your left and you're looking at the person to your right, if one, you're not going through the same shit together, you're not, you know, holding each other accountable, and you're not motivating each other, you got to cut those people out. Yeah. You just got to cut it out. And that's why when you were like, when last week I told you, I had this dispute with one of my childhood friends and he was just being toxic. And I kind of said, I'm going to love you from afar. Mm-hmm. Because, he's still in the military and, he still puts his life in danger. And I don't wish ill will. I love him. I'm like, I pray every single day. Hey, watch him, take care of him, make sure he comes home alive because he has a wife and kids. I want to make sure he's okay. But I'm not going to go really dive into what's moving, all the moving parts that's happening in my life. Mm-hmm. Because I know you're not going to hold me accountable. And two, you're not going to motivate me.
Yeah.
If anything, you're going to demotivate me, right? And you're going to help me make excuses for when I don't succeed.
Yeah. And that's something else that I learned lately is like, you have to be careful, like who you, who you open up to, who you share with, mm-hmm. because you never know their intentions. Right. It might be somebody who you think has like no connection with you at all, but things come around in the future and boom, like they're hindering you somehow because they have this information about you. So you definitely have to be careful also, like who you choose as your confidant, like the people who you choose to trust. Make sure that you're choosing trustworthy people.
And you got to understand too that people are, humans are humans. We have emotions. And for whatever reason, somebody might be jealous, somebody might have animosity. Mm-hmm. They may unknowingly be causing you harm because of those because of those feelings, those emotions.
Yeah.
So it could just be subconsciously, they're just like, they're not rooting for you, Well, you were like all the way.
I was reaching for something behind the computer.
Because my ring light was there, so and for 1 second, like the ring light became your body. I was like, what are you doing? You're going into the ring light. Don't go into the light.
Ma commented, yes, Ma, I do remember that actually. That's like a vivid memory of mine when she like threatened to like hit our heads like against each other. She was like crack them open. Oh my god.
Yeah, she was always threatening.
I remember she was always threatening that she was gonna hit her heads against the wall. But I do distinctly remember the one time and she was like, I'm just gonna grab your head, I'm gonna grab your head, I'm gonna go, oh! I was just like, ah!
Yeah, keep bothering me.
Don't do that!
Keep bothering me. That's why it was like, what was it? The other day we were watching a movie. There's a new movie on Netflix. A new Ryan Reynolds movie on Netflix. It's like a sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. I forgot. It's something project. I keep calling it the Ryan Project because Ryan Reynolds is in it. But in the concept of the movie is that he goes back in time mm-hmm. and he has to like solve a problem with his younger self. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself, like the kids, they were watching the movie and they were like, oh, it would be so cool to meet my younger self. And I was like, oh, hell no. I would never want to meet my younger self. Mm-hmm. I was like, after dealing with you guys, I was like, I know my younger self was difficult. I don't ever want to meet that guy. Because it's just a different world, It's like, it literally, you're a kid. You do dumb shit. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. I told him that. I was like, you're a kid. You do dumb stuff. That's it. Not that you're dumb. They got great grades. Sometimes their common sense is lacking. I used to say that all the time too. Where's your common sense? And now I'm getting it like,
No, like one of the things with like common sense that I tend to confuse is like common sense with like just telling your kids like, oh, you should have known better, right? But like I also have to hold myself accountable because if I haven't made things crystal clear for them, how can I expect them to know better? Mm. So sometimes I have to analyze the situation and think like, hey, should they have known better? Like, or is this just the teaching moment where I can teach them better?
Right. Yeah. You just like you gotta take every scenario and approach it in a way that hopefully, because there'll be days where I'm like, how am I still seeing this after all these years? Like, why am I still repeating myself? Like, you still don't get this? And it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes that's just not how their brains are wired at that point.
Right.
Like, we remember things, and they're just like, I'll do what Dad says. I got to do kind of deal. Like, kids not thinking about taking out the trash. That's not on their mind,
Yeah, but if you walk past it and it's full, just take it out. It's so simple. It's so simple.
No. No, they don't think like that. That's not how they're wired, you know?
Yeah, so what I did
and that's
now
okay because that's just
with the trash, like they know, like after dinner, somebody's taking the trash out.
mm-hmm.
And
because
they
you made
do
it a
pretty
habit.
good. Like one person or the other, they'll typically do it. Like sometimes I have to remind them, but because it's becoming more of a ritual, they're kind of staying on it.
Right, because we are creatures. We are creatures of habits and repetition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they said, if you want to change anything, it takes 30 days. It takes 30 days to make it happen. So whatever you want to say, hey, I want to work out. So start walking every day. Go for a walk, and in 30 days, you made it a habit to go for a walk. It's like with anything. It's like it just takes 30 days to make it a habit. We are creatures of repetition.
Yeah.
So as much as we want to act like we're so smart, you do the same. It's funny because I've been watching The Office, and one of the characters, Jim, he's always doing pranks on another character, Dwight, and so he did that whole like Pavlov's dog kind of thing where he did a clicking, but it was the Microsoft sound. So every time the machine would power up, he would offer him a mint. And so at some point, he just powered up his machine, and Dwight just puts his hand out, and he's like, "Do you want something?" What? And Dwight was like, "Oh, sorry." And he was like, "Why does my mouth feel funky?" It was just hilarious because it was just that repetition, going in, going in, going in.
Yep.
And you create a habit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, The Office is hilarious. The pranks that they do on that show it's just that was good writing. Just classics.
Yo, plus you gotta let us know, like why, what enticed you to try cigarettes at 12 years old? Because I gotta look out for these red flags.
That was his inner circle. That was his inner circle at the time, and that was the thing to do. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I would be surprised because you told me that your daughter is very in like being the popular kids and having friends and all that, right?
Yeah.
So her friends are doing that.
That's what she is.
And you're not filtering her friends. Granted, they're gonna be doing stuff because that's my friend's doing it.
Yeah.
So you gotta watch out for that. You gotta watch out for that. I'm telling you, she's gonna be your firecracker.
She already is.
Yes,
oh my
sir.
God.
Yes, sir. I tried to nip that in the butt though, but no, nobody want to listen to me. Yeah, so like right now with the whole show and everything, I would say our biggest inner circle is you guys. You guys are coming in every week with us, watching the show, commenting, like motivating us. You're holding us accountable, right? If we say we're gonna do something, you come back and say, hey, we need a status, and you guys are motivating us. Like I feel like it's a lot easier to do the show now than it was when we started, when there was nobody listening.
Yeah.
And we were trying to be like, yo, what do we gotta do? I don't know. And like we're starting to like find our rhythm in all this, right? We're starting to find like our voice in all this, and it's like it's really cool. It's really cool to see the growth in us, and that's why I'm like, yo, I wanted to motivate you guys too. Like you guys comment down below, what is it that you guys want to see? What do you want to change in your life? What do you want to do? One, you're putting it out there for the universe to hear it, right?
Speaking into existence.
Right, and then two, you're holding the inner circle and the tribe. We're going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
You're going to get it done. So it's like, I that to me is motivating. Like, that's what that ultimately, at the end, like when we finally get to wherever we're going to be, the pinnacle of all this, like that's what I want to see. I want to see that we have a group of people that are helping each other.
Yeah.
Like somebody's like, hey, I know how to do this. Or, hey, I want to learn how to do this. And somebody's like, hey, I can help you. I know how to do this. And like kind of tying the right people so that way people are out there just taking action and making a change.
Yeah.
Hopefully in the right direction. Hopefully we're not, we spur some psychopath out there. I don't want that either. Fuzz, don't go shooting up a place. Well, don't do it, Fuzz. Don't go shooting up a place. No, hopefully at the end it's all, positive with love and everything out there. I'm waiting to see the socks. I know, because you bought them, huh? The heat on the feet. All right. So let me see if I can do this. Let me turn it just a little bit. This gets harder every single time. Wouldn't it just be easier if I just took the camera down?
Maybe. Show what's up there. Show what's up.
All right, let's
Pull
see.
it down. Wiggle
My
the
hand.
toes. What do we got? What do we got? The cat bowls.
Can you see them?
SpongeBob! I love them. Yeah.
I can't do his laugh. Can you do his laugh?
I can't do his laugh either.
So do that. I can't do it. All right. SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Was it? Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Hey, don't sing no more. You're gonna get copyright strike.
Were they copyrighted or nobody knows the lyrics after that?
Man. Like, can you get copyrighted for doing? Hey, well, you keep the rhythm, right? If you keep the rhythm, you get copyright strike.
No, I don't think we're good enough for that. We would have to be like not ventriloquists. What the hell are the people who like do voices?
A voice actor?
Voices. Yeah, whatever. People who do voices.
A voice actor? Yeah, voice actor.
We'd have to really sound like them for the computer to be like, oh yeah.
No, you mean like if it was a cover, like we were doing a cover.
No, if we did a cover, we'd be fine. Because we're
You
creating
can do a cover
our
of a
own.
song?
Yeah, we're creating our own content. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you could do the cover, but it's if you sound like them, like to the point where it's like the same thing. No, because what if you showing you singing the song, like actually singing the song and doing the voices and all that?
Well, you might still get the
The
flagged,
flag?
but then you have to be like, oh no, I want somebody to review this, and
Yeah,
the live person
okay.
reviews it, and then they're like, oh no, it's fine. These people are just
Gotcha,
making idiots of themselves on the internet.
Okay, all right, that's cool. That's cool to see. All right, so you're gonna do this dinner night with your inner circle. Have you started?
I have not. No, we just spoke about it on Friday. Just spoke about it on Friday. And, yeah, I have to actually schedule it. Oh, no, I know what it is. So she's actually going away. My girlfriend's going away for a month. And
Rumor has it you're
gets
going
back-
away. Rumor has it you're going away.
Yeah, I'm going away too. But I'm only going away for 2 days. Short and sweet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm going to Cali, California, West Coast.
To restock.
Yeah. Every now and then I take the flight, you know. What's going on here?
Oh, Fuzz said.
Oh, wow, I've already
heard-
taken 2,800 steps today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm
Look at
halfway on
you.
the goal.
Fuzz said, I heard TikTok doesn't flag anything.
Really?
Really? Because it's China, huh? So you could just go and just put anything up there? Interesting.
But also with TikTok, you don't really like monetize TikTok. Whereas
No, you don't
YouTube-
get paid on TikTok?
No, whereas YouTube, you monetize it, so they are like, oh, well, that's where the copyright comes in.
Okay. All right. Well, TikTok also, they feed you propaganda.
Don't
Did you
get
hear about
caught.
that?
I'm trying not to.
Did you hear about the propaganda with TikTok?
No.
So
what about
there was like 50 prominent like TikTok stars were invited to the White House to be told what's going on in Ukraine,
Really?
aka being fed, what they have to go out and say to the masses. I'm like, man, can you make it more obvious that propaganda is just being fed left and right?
That's crazy.
It is crazy because
Like, why? Why would you even invite TikTokers of all people? Like,
Because they gotta feed. They gotta paint a narrative. They gotta feed a
Right.
certain narrative.
right, and that's what's
And like
gonna
I
be
was
viral. That's what's gonna be trending.
Right, right. I was at the yesterday. Yesterday, I went for an oil change. So I went to a Mavis tire store, right, just to go get an oil change. And as I was waiting, I'm sitting in the lobby area, and they had The View on, right? And it's just a bunch of older women. Whoopi Goldberg was on there. I'm like, Whoopi Goldberg? Like, should you really be getting? But no, here they are. They're feeding the propaganda to the masses. They were talking about, Trump and Biden, and they were calling for Tulsi Gabbard to get arrested because she's talking about this and that. And I'm like, whoever their viewers are, whatever million of viewers they have during the day, here they go. They're feeding that propaganda. And it's, we got to get away from that. We have to start turning off the TVs, I swear.
It would be a way to stop false propaganda if we could trust the source.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I noticed yesterday that my nails are like Ukraine flag nails.
Oh, you brought in the propaganda?
I have their colors. I'm rocking their colors.
Yeah, no, it's at this point right now, I feel like I don't trust anything I watch on TV. Like, everything has a message or some kind of propaganda that they're trying to force feed me. And I'm like, it's like, I don't really know how I was able to detect it. And for some parts, who knows? Some of it might be going over my head. I'll be like buying into it. Like, oh yeah. But it's like, how do we awaken everybody else to be able to see that? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Like, how do we change the narrative? Like, with the whole Ukraine-Russia conflict right now that's going on. Like, my hearts go out to the Ukraine people, Russian people who are getting involved in this, right? But both of their governments are corrupt. Like, I don't understand that. Like, there was articles that were, just a few years ago saying how corrupt Ukraine was, right? And it's like, now all of a sudden we're painting this narrative where, oh, Russia bad, Ukraine good, US good, right? And it's like, no, it's like, they're all bad. Like, why don't we as people see that and be like, hey, enough is enough, And I don't understand, like, the people, I was talking to Ma about this yesterday. The people are so devoted to their political side. And she's like, she said it too. She was like, I don't get it because none of these politicians care about you. Mm-hmm. Like, you can go and defend, Trump or Biden or whoever so much, but they don't they'll see you and they'll step right over you to get to what they want. Like, they don't care for you. It's like, when are we going to collectively wake up and say, hey, enough is enough? And that's what I was trying to say earlier when you were on the phone. I was like, we see all these headlines right now calling for, like, World War III, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you see, like, CNN, they'll go and they'll put out, a clip. And it's just a negative clip that is now feeding their viewers this negativity. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, sure enough, we're going to go to that. Instead of them putting more into a positive spin and saying, hey, let's talk about peace. Let's, what would it take for us to have peace? Mm-hmm. Right? That's positive. And then now you have a million people saying, oh, that's what it would take to have peace. Let's do that. Right?
Yeah.
But they don't do that. And that's why it's driving. It's building that momentum. It's that energy momentum till we, I really do believe it. If we don't have a dynamic shift in our way of thinking, we're going to eradicate ourselves. Oh, man, comments are going crazy.
Yeah, they're coming in.
They paid YouTubers to spread propaganda too. Yeah, I think Lynn got that dip. I see your fingernails again. Well, how much is the check, Lynn?
Yep, rocking the Ukraine colors.
I know you did that for Easter, right?
No, I did this for the Bahamas. It was tropical.
And you got like, the Ukraine colors on there?
Yeah, it just happens to be like the same colors.
Yeah, Lynn sold out. She's all right. I'm making it. I gotta make it. Too many of them and not enough of us. Well, we're trying to grow. We gotta do grassroots movements. We gotta start doing it where, we just get the word out that, hey, there is another side to life that's positive. Mm-hmm. You can be happy just by saying, I want to be happy.
Yeah.
And then put it out there and watch it happen. It's like we don't need to feed the negativity that is. We don't need to feed that monster anymore. All right, what else we got here? Have you considered that since the majority of young masses believe what they see in their phone is appropriate to have to do this to combat false propaganda because Russia is doing it? I'm gonna throw a positive out there with the youth, and we saw this on Sunday. So, you know, over the years, I've had a dynamic shift in certain narratives, right? And we saw those narratives come full force on Sunday, right? And I was like, oh, I feel like they're programming, they're feeding the kids to think this certain way, like have that victim mentality to fight these narratives, right? These certain subjects. But yet, when the exercise came, and the exercise was, you know, right, I am, and then something underneath it that would describe you, right? And of course, the example was, I am a victim. And I was like, oh my God, could you be any more on the nose, right? But I saw...
Yo, as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, Ray's gonna eat this one up.
My eyes started rolling. I was like, no. But I saw these kids, and this is where I really do have hope in the youth, is that, you know, a lot of them started putting like, I am strong, right? I am alive, right? I am happy. I am a man, you know, those things where you're just like, wow, like they really were putting into that positivity. And like, you could tell, like they haven't been fed the victim mentality and the propaganda yet. And it's like that to me, and I told you, like when I joined that youth group, it was more of an opportunity. Like it was like, you know, you're told as a kid, hey, whatever you want, you can do it, right? But then as a kid, you're like, oh, how do I do it? I don't know. No, there's no that direction, right? And so that's what the group was for me, was that they were like, hey, if you want to learn this, we're going to find somebody who can teach you that, right? If you want to, like, I know some of the girls that were part of the group, they were like, I want to learn how to dance. So they got a professional dancer to teach them how to dance, right? Yeah. So I was like, oh man, I would like to do, you know, graphic design or something like that. And sure enough, they got me a graphic designer. And like, that was her profession. That was the first time I ever saw Apple anything. I think she had like an iMac or something at the time. And I was like, oh shit, what is this thing? And so like, she was showing me that and just how to do, and I made the first logo for the group and all that. And I was like, really, like that's the empowerment that I was looking for. And that was like the thing that I hope that the group can get back to, that instead of more of like that victim narrative. Like that to me was the thing that kind of was like, oh no, why?
And it's a tough position for them to be in, because the way the group works, it's a group of high schoolers. So I think you have to be 14 to 18 to be in the group. And they choose like 2 topics to work on throughout the year. And it's usually like farm worker advocacy. But like right now, there's a lot of different movements to get behind. So I think what the group
all the ones that are buzzword.
I think what the group likely did was they chose, you know, some of like the trending like movements that were going on, and they were choosing a side rather than formulating their own ideas, their own opinions, and saying, well, this is something I see and this is what I want to work on.
Right. So how do we show, and once again, this goes back to growing your tribe, because to this day, I still talk to some of the members of, you know, when it was my turn. Yeah. Like I talked, you know, and I still, you know, we're friends. And unfortunately, you know, one of our members recently passed away. And, you know, I called up, but it wasn't like I just called up. It wasn't like an out of the blue call. Right. Like I realized, like, I'm still talking to you. Right. Throughout all these years, we still have our friendship. Like we build that bond. We build family. And like family could come from anywhere. Right. It's not just what you're born into. And sometimes the strongest family bonds is the ones you make along the way, right? I feel like a Fast and Furious movie. When's Vin Diesel? Did you say family? Family's everything, right? So it's like, oh man, the comments are going. Sorry, I got distracted. So it's like, you know, you build that lasting bond with people, but how do we get to the point where we empower our children in a way that doesn't make them seem like they're a victim? Because there was a lot of narratives going on that day, and I was like, wow, we weren't doing this. Like, I get it. Like, we were fighting for migrant farmers' rights, but that was because they were kids of migrant farmers.
Right.
So I get it. Like, there was times where they couldn't make the meetings because they had to go help their family, right? And so I get, like, that point, they were fighting for something that actually affected them.
Right.
But how do we get to this, like, fast forward, you know, 20 years later, we're at a point where it's like, the system is holding me down because I'm black, or, the system's holding me down because I'm a woman. Like, I don't get that. I don't get that. Like I see people fighting for women's rights. Do you feel like you need more rights?
Me personally?
As a woman?
Me personally, I'm not following any of these movements. Like, I'm I am disconnected from the social norms. So, yeah, I'm a bad one to ask about that.
But I'm like, what more rights can you, like they're still marching. Like, what else do they want? Like, if anything, hey, look, if anything, I think the ultimate right would be, let's change the draft law and make it that women can get drafted too. That's true equality right there, right? Hey, if a war's coming up, World War III, hey, you guys can fight too. Let's do true equality. That's the ultimate. You know what? I just became a feminist. I'm gonna fight for women's rights too. You guys should have the right to die in a war. There you go.
Oh wow!
Let's
I'm
read
just,
some of
skipping
these comments.
through the comments. All right, good. So you go to the comments.
All right. Oh man, there was a lot. I gotta pull this tablet over. Here's my tablet. I'm gonna catch up, boys. Let's see. Too many of us, not enough of them. Have you considered that since the majority of young masses believe when they see in their phones? Yeah, that's what we talked about, that one. All right. So why not and try and fight back the way they are doing it? You're right, in the sense that we need a positive propaganda movement. Like, we need something where we have that voice and we carry it. And I know, like, there's it's rough because, like, you see Hollywood, they have Hollywood, right? They have the music. It's really tough when you have artists who are going against the narrative and try to bring light. Like, I know there's one rapper out there, Tom, I think his name is Tom McDonald, who he's constantly talking about, you know, trying to awaken people, and no label wants him, right? No label will touch him, no label wants him, but he's doing his own videos, he's doing his thing, and he's getting notarized for that, even though he's going against the narrative. But it's few. It's really rough because it's like, where do you start? How do you get that, you know, how do you get picked up? How do you get seen when you're going against something that the mass is doing, you know? So what's the next one? Wait 5 years and notice they are winning. We lose on every position. Russia is not going to agree to peace until it has Ukraine. It wants Ukraine as a buffer from NATO. That is true. And there's a lot of things, like recently it came out, you know, the biolabs that Ukraine was working on. And I honestly feel like Russia felt threatened. And if you put it, if you put it in our perspective, like, let's say like ISIS, right? ISIS or Al-Qaeda was doing some shady stuff in Mexico or Canada, the U.S. would invade. We would call it some kind of freedom operation or whatever, right? Put a spin on it. And the whole world will be applauding, yeah, go get the terrorists, right? But here you go. You have, Ukraine antagonizing Russia, right? It's coming out with these biochemical labs, right? And everyone's like, oh, Russia's the bad guy. But that's the narrative. That's the propaganda. And so we got to kind of like communicate. We got to kind of talk about things like this. And unfortunately, there's no avenue for discourse. It's like you're in one camp, you're in the other camp, and everybody's just arguing and fighting. Yeah. Nobody's having an open conversation. And then that's where like different narratives comes. Like people are saying, oh, these biochemical labs were funded by America. Is that true? I don't know. Nobody wants to go and talk about it. The same thing happened with COVID. Like, we couldn't have an open forum and an open discussion about what's going on. And so now you're hearing all these different narratives and all these different stories, all these different, lines and tags and all this stuff. And you're like, is this true? I don't know if this is true or not. So, like, we're definitely living in the age of misinformation. Like, it's definitely out there. It's on both camps. We don't know. Like, anybody who's pro for something, they're going to give you a bunch of lies on why something's good. And if some on the camp that's, like, against something, they're going to give you a bunch of lies why it's bad. And, like, we need to be able to have an open discussion. Like, I think Joe Rogan was trying to do that with Kofifi, in the sense that he was trying to have doctors come on board to talk about, the effects and the medication and all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And here you go. You got you have a bunch of people, cancel him. He's going against the narrative, cancel him. So it's like, we have to find a way that we can talk about things in a civil manner.
And that's something really hard to do in a large group.
It really is. It's like to have the world come together and be like, hey, let's just have an open forum and let's just talk about things. Let's talk about it. Like, it really is rough because a lot of people are emotionally invested. Mm-hmm. And once again, it's about feeling part of something. Mm-hmm. Like, I think a lot of these movements that you see going on, people relate to it because they want to be a part of something.
Right.
So we need an alternative to say, hey, you could be a part of this over here that's going to empower you. That's not going to make you a victim. Mm-hmm. That's going to make you feel like, hey, you belong. You can grow. You can be something. Which is crazy because one of the photos that was shown on Sunday was of the civil rights movement, back in the 60s, right? 50s, 60s. And it was convenient because the photos only showed a black man who was like, I am a man, right? Mm-hmm. And he had the sign, and it was just a black man. But if I recall, there was white people that was protesting there too. Mm-hmm. And that's the narrative. It's like, why not show the full photo and show that white people were there supporting it too? It's like, why paint it one way or another? Because you'll get more of a reaction when you paint it a certain way.
Right.
That's that negativity, Oh no! Another call.
I don't even know this call, so we're gonna ignore that one. My phone is ringing off the hook today.
I see that. You Miss Popular over here.
Jeez.
I got some more comments. The comments are coming in.
They're
I love
coming
them.
in.
All right. Trish said it also wants Ukraine for port access to Black Sea. This furthers into the ocean. If it controls Black Sea, then U.S. and NATO can't keep warships too close to Russia. I'll tell you one thing. If we had Trump, I don't think all this would be going down. Because Trump was like the wild card. He was always like, we got lots of bombs, many, many bombs. We will bomb you. We will bomb you better than anybody has bombed anybody before. I really do believe that. And I feel like now you see like Russia starting to step out. You start to see like the other day Iran bombed Iraq. So like, and now, China's moving in towards Taiwan. It's like all these like leaders are like, U.S. is kind of weak right now. They see us as weak right now. And it's sad because the man who everybody said, oh, you're going to call World War III was the man who actually was nominated twice for a Nobel Peace Prize. So he was keeping the peace. I don't know if it was because he was crazy. Everyone was like, yo, is this guy really going to bomb us? He might, I don't know. It is what it is. Fuzz said, did you know the New York Times increased victim language in their articles 100 times the frequency after 2011? I believe it because it gets more clicks.
Yeah.
It gets more clicks.
And that's what the issue is. Like, they're trying to sensationalize it to get you to read it so much to the point where they're like, well, let's just get people to read it rather than, hey, let's get the truth out there. Let's get facts out there.
And it's not just the New York Times. It's everywhere. Like, you could look at whatever you are into. They're going to be because I know I watch a lot of movie reviews, right? And yeah, you'll see like a lot of the channels out there, and I get what a lot of them are doing. They're calling out like the message, that's in it. Like there's all the social justice message that a lot of movies today are portraying, but yet they're still doing it in a negative way. And they're greening, like if you do, it's almost like if you start a channel in a negative way, you're gonna get traction. That's why when we started this, I was like, yo, let's do debates, let's do topics, let's do all that, because I was ready to feed into that. I was ready to feed into that whole let's talk about things that sensationalizes and gets people feeling a certain emotion. Mm-hmm. And right now, the big emotions is like fear and anger, right? Oh, let me watch this clip so I can get upset. Oh, how dare they do that? Or let me watch this clip and now I'm like nervous, I'm anxious, and now I gotta watch it again to see if it got resolved. Mm-hmm. That's what makes the money sadly at this point. Let's see what else. Yeah. Ma said, I'm so sorry about everything that is happening in Ukraine, that when I see them on the news, I just cry. I'm really praying for them all. Yes, but pray for Russia too, because there's a lot of Russians out there that they were living a day-to-day life, and all of a sudden their government decides to do this. Yeah. And especially like Russians everywhere else. For now they're getting like a bad rap, right? Like I was talking to this woman the other day, and she was like embarrassed to say that she was Russian. And I was like, you can't change who you are because of what's going on in the world. Don't be ashamed about that. Trish said, but as soon as Biden launches an attack, all right wing is going to come out against him in righteous indignation. Yes, because they all have their narrative and they all have their agenda. And that's why, like it's funny because I get called alt-right all the time, and I was like, nah, I don't like the right. I don't like anybody on the right. I was like, I like Trump because he came in and he rocked the boat, and he rocked it in a good way. Look how good life was, right? He made us independent. He made peace. Like it was like, how do you have an outsider who came in and for 4 years, even though he was shitted on for 4 years, he was able to change the system. For that little bit, right? It's like, it's rigged. It's all, we're all playing on this rigged game, and we gotta open up our eyes and say, look, we want to change.
And it's hard because our leaders are supposed to be the ones like having these discussions. They're supposed to be the ones that are like looking at both sides and trying to figure out what's best for the people, and they're kind of jumping on the bandwagon, and they're choosing their sides, and they're just like, oh well, this is what we stand for, and then they want to get everyone's votes, so they say what they want the people want to hear, and we're not putting the right people in these positions, and it's hard. Correct. Because like, what does that mean? How do we get the right person for these positions? Right. How do we get the people out of the positions that have been there for a decade? Like, what are you doing?
Right. And it's sad because when you hear people when they talk about the elections and all that, it's always like the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm. That's so awful. That's awful. You know how many people we have in the U.S.? Why can't we find the right people for these positions? Why can't it be like, oh man, we have 5 solid candidates, and how are we going to narrow it down? But it starts as the lesser of two evils, and it's like, that's awful.
Yeah. No.
These are our lives. These are day-to-day lives that we are gambling with. Let's not choose from the lesser of the evils.
Right. No, and that's the unfortunately that's the world we're living in. Like, we really don't have people who come in, because that's the thing. Like, anybody who chases power, I don't trust them. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're chasing power, you're a narcissist. Like, power should not be. If you think about like the king, like back in the day, like a kingdom, and the king was supposed. The evil king was the guy who was like, ha ha ha, this is mine, right? And he just treated his people like he didn't care for them. But then a good king is somebody who fell into that, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, George Washington fought Revolutionary War, blah blah blah, and then like he was given, they were like, oh, you should be the king. He was like, no, we just fought for that, right? We fought against that. I don't want to be a king. So they were like, oh, be the first president. And then he walked away from it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's like anybody who chases power, like these politicians who's been around for 20 years, 30 years, I know they're like corrupt to their core.
Right.
Because can you imagine though? Like, just think about it. Just think about yourself. They're like, like I think to myself, like, if I'm in that role, would I really be listening to anybody? Or would I be like, you can't tell me nothing? Like, I'm this person, I'm gonna get elected. It's like a sense of arrogance, you know? And it's definitely the ego coming out saying like, oh, I'm untouchable. That's why when a certain protest happened and now it's a witch hunt. Now they're going after them hard. But I really do think that was like an eye opener. Like, oh shit, we're not untouchable. Oh shit, they came up to our door. Oh shit. Like I think like I don't want to say like we need more protests. I think we just need more people just getting unplugged, turning off the TV. Right, the ratings are going to go down. Those channels are going to lose viewers. Right, so they're going to have to be forced to change their message. Right, and then as more people start doing like just more circles, more communication, more groups just coming together and trying to do more positive things, I think that's what's going to drive the narrative to shift. Because I feel like, I mean, this started back in the 90s, as far as I can remember, this whole fear thing, right? And I think that there has to be a shift, or we're gonna eradicate ourselves. And I don't want to see that. Because, man, when man puts their mind to do amazing things, we do amazing things. You hear these stories of like, just things that just make you be like, wow, that was amazing. Like these heartwarming stories out there, right?
Yeah.
Like we need more of those stories, but those stories don't get the clicks, right?
Go back to the comments. We have a lot more.
Yeah, I'm going.
I have to like squint to read the comments. So I
know, me too. I'm pulling it over. I'm like, I'm getting those. All right. Fuzz said, our leaders are looking only one side that lines their pockets. That's true. And like we gotta close those lines. Because if they come in, and their net worth was $100K and once they're done, they got $10 million, we should question that. Right? We should be like, hold up, how'd you make this money when you were working for the government, right? Like those are the things, like it's glaringly that they're doing it. It's like, why don't we question those kind of things? Right? Like, why do we have it where people can lobby and say, no, we should drive the vote to this, right? Or even this one thing where it's like, why is our politicians allowed to buy stocks? Like, wouldn't that govern the way they choose to do things? Like I heard like a lot of these politicians bought like a lot of pharmaceutical stocks before COVID hit. Or during COVID, right? They bought it, and now all these decisions are going this direction. Like, think about it. They're getting paid. It's like we gotta control that. Like, if they're really supposed to work for our benefit, we need to make sure that they're not being bought out.
Yeah.
All right. A big issue with politics is that there are no term limits for our representatives. That's true. We got people in office 20, 30 years. That's crazy. It's an insider's game. You ain't in it. We got to change the game. We got to change the narrative. I feel it. I feel like I believe in this. Like, we start somewhere and we motivate people to change. And I could see it like, I've seen channels on YouTube that blown up. They get picked up, you know, and you see them everywhere, like World Star, you know, Hot 97's talking about them, all these different places are talking about them. And it's like, we need to promote that where somebody can blow up, but promote it with like a positive thing. Because once again, you'll hear a positive story, but then it'll die out, right? The hype goes away. It's like we need more channels to come out, more people to come out and be empowered to say, hey, I have a voice and my voice is going to be screaming for positivity. I do want change. I want change in this manner.
Yeah. I feel like that's exactly, like that was what we did with this. And, you know, like we're opening that door. We're opening that door. We're putting that message out there. And evidently, like, we have people gravitating towards us. And the more people will get in front of, I think the more they will, you know, resonate. It'll resonate with them and they'll gravitate towards us too.
So I'm curious. So now that you are part of the board for the Youth Arts Group, right? Will you drive, or like, would you bring up different topics or different things to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't focus on this? Like, would you bring this to light now that you see it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a position where I can do that now. And it came up, I want to say, in another meeting also, where, like, the director who's, like, part of, like, youth empowerment, they brought it up, how, like, oh, like, the Jaggers, like, they've been kind of, like, piggybacking off of the movements that are already going. But one of the things that we did say in that board meeting is that we'd like for them to, you know, almost like create their own movements.
Yes.
You know, like, there are people already working towards their goals. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be their ally, but find your own goal, your own path. I definitely think that it's there, and I think that for that youth group, like, they're definitely going to be able to, you know, change that around going forward. But it was the times we're in, you know, 2020 hit. Everybody got shut down. They started doing things online, and then all these movements were popping up that were easy. They were, you know, relatable, and they were easy to kind of jump on and say, oh, you know, I want to be part of this.
Right. Gotcha. And that's really what it is. It's really like, hey, it's publicized, it's out there, it's going on, and I don't really have a movement for me. So I'm going to be part of this because I want to feel like I'm making my mark in history, right? That's how some people feel. It's like, oh, this is the movement. We got to fight towards injustice, right? But there's a lot more injustice that's going on. Like the one called modern day slavery, the 9 to 5. That's an injustice. Like, we need to fight that. We need to look at a newer way to have, you know, get the resources we need to survive, but also be able to have, you know, our happiness in it.
Yeah.
Like, people, and we're telling everybody, you know, we're breaking the household. We're breaking up, you know, the thing that makes us humans. We're breaking that up. We're going against the grain. We're going against nature just so we can put more bodies in the workforce. And we got to fight that. Like, we got to encourage people and say, hey, if you like photography, you can make it a career.
Yeah,
you can explore that.
Make that be your primary focus.
Right. Make that your purpose. Make that your passion. And then, you know, because that to me, that's what the Youth Arts Group was back in the day. Right? That's what it was about. It was about that. And like I said, everything else fell into place because it was the times. Like, the kids were part of that. So they needed to have a voice for that because their parents were being affected by that. But now I just feel like everybody wants to be a victim. It's cool to be a victim.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be a victim. Hell no, I don't want to be a victim of anything. Like, no, that's not cool. Like, somebody got a one-up on me. No. Hell no.
It's hard. It's a thin line because you don't want to be a victim, but also, like, it's okay to recognize when you have been a victim. And I think instead of, you know, grasping onto the, oh my Lord, I am a victim, you know, it's about the mentality, it's about the mindset of shifting into, okay, well, what am I going to do about it? What am I doing next? You know, that's the empowering part, whereas a lot of people are getting stuck on the, like, maybe they realize that they have been a victim and they have been suppressed in some way, and they're holding on to that as, like, the prize.
Do you feel like you are a victim of society, or do you feel like you just made bad choices in your life?
I feel like I've made bad choices in my life. I definitely, like, see that, like, where I am is because of my choices that I've made. Have I been a victim? I have been a victim. But you'll never hear me, like, say, like, oh my God, I'm a victim and this is stopping me because I allowed this to happen. Like, it's not, I don't know. It's which is why it's a thin line, because, like, I do recognize in life where I have been, like, a victim, but it's not something that defines me. It doesn't control me. It doesn't, like, tell anything about my future.
You know what? I look at my life and I'm like, maybe I was. I don't know. I always seem like I was, like, destined to do something better. So I'm like, if for whatever reason, let's say I'm at a job and I didn't get promoted for whatever reason it may be, I was just like, all right, it's time for me to find another job.
Gotcha.
And if I couldn't find a job, like for the longest time, like when I was going through the stuff at work back in like 2017, right? The reason why I didn't leave that job was because there was nothing around in the area, right? Mm-hmm. I built this family in the middle of Pennsylvania, and I was like, I want to keep it going, right? So I found an alternative. I was motivated somewhere else. I was like, look, whatever. It's my life. I gotta make the choices. Like if I'm not seeing the change in my life, that's on me.
Oh, I like that. So Trish said, instead of, hey, I'm a victim, what about, hey, I'm a survivor?
Mm-hmm.
I like
that.
There
you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Because a survivor, it makes it seem like you're still alive.
Yeah.
You're alive. You're alive. You survived it. And it's in the past, too. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you say I'm a victim, it seems like you're still that person in the present.
Right.
Because if you say I'm a survivor, that's behind you. It's in the past. Mm-hmm. And you're moving on. It seems like you're growing more with that. As opposed to like, hey, my mindset's still on this. Yeah. Which I do feel like I feel like a lot of people are fighting things for stuff that didn't even happen in their lifetime. I'm like, you're fighting for something that didn't even happen in your lifetime. What are you doing? Why are you wasting so much energy on this? It's like you got so much more if you just open your eyes and look. You know? It's like, I don't know. I'm confused with it all. When I see it, I'm confused with it all. I believe that we can make, Ma said, I believe that we can make a change when we make our vote count. I thought so too, but I don't know if they can rig the system. The system is broken. I think we need a new system. That's the only thing. Like if I do feel like there's a need to fight, it would be to fight against the broken system that we currently have. Like maybe are we at the point where we do have to? Maybe we do need another like revolutionary war where we're fighting against that. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, it'll never happen because you'll be you'll be stuffed out real quick. I think like that's what happened in Waco, right? They were like, "Oh, we're gonna start our own thing," and here comes the FBI. You know, all right, we clean this up. I don't know. I want to say go vote. Like that's the cliche thing to say is like, "Oh, go vote, change the politicians," but I don't know. I do get inspired with what I see happening on YouTube. Like there's a lot of channels breaking out, and a lot of these channels they've grown their fame up and their notoriety up to the point where they can actually create their own movies and their own content. Like they're creating content to try to go against the narrative. So I don't know. Is that the way? I don't know. All I can do is just shine a light at it. I don't really have the answers to solve the problem, but hopefully I can awaken the person who might have the answers.
That's a good point.
You know, maybe I can shine the light at them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, oh shit, yeah, you're right." Like shine the light at the crack, and you know, here comes a mason over, and he cleans it up and fixes the wall. And I'm like, oh, sweet, cool. You know, they are selling paper ballots in the hood. I believe that. That's why I was like, they definitely leverage Kofifi. They leveraged Kofifi for that vote, and it's sad what they know how to play the games, and I think we need a counterculture who knows how to play the games as well. And do we have to play dirty at times to get to where we want? it's where I keep making the joke. It's like we gotta smack some people sometimes. Like think positive, we gotta be better. You can do better. We gotta beat people sometimes. But it's like is that the point where we have to get to change things? Is that where we are? Do we have to play these dirty tactics to get a better narrative?
I don't know what we need. That's what we're trying to figure out. What do we need? Yeah.
But in closing, because I know you have to go soon, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna cut this one short today. We do have a Thursday show, right? We're doing a Thursday show before you roll out. All right, cool. So, and just in closing, I know what we're striving for. We're trying to push for that new positive narrative, but we got to do it with the support of our inner circle. Mm-hmm. So once again, remember that if your inner circle is not motivating you or holding you accountable, maybe they shouldn't be part of your circle.
Yeah.
And your circle can be from anybody. Like right now, we're doing this. This is our movement. And you guys watching, Tris, Fuzz, you guys are our inner circle. I know Fuzz, you sent us an email over the weekend. We replied back, hey, give us some more info. We love that. Communicate with us, behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. It's not just this. It's like, if you believe in this, help us feed it. We're going to be, the mouthpiece that helps drive this forward. But you guys can be the brains, the eyes. You can send us things and we'll utilize all of that.
Yeah.
Because you are, our inner circle. And kudos for you, Lynn, for acknowledging your inner circle and, keeping in touch. Mm-hmm. Having that meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, you really have to choose wisely, like where you put your energy into and like what you choose to do with your time. We have mm-hmm. our time is the most valuable resource that we have while we're here, and that's limited.
We have
to make these choices like day to day. What's important to us day to day?
Right.
What do we need more of in our life?
Right. And when you see, like, when you get called, when you find your calling and you're like, I got to fix this problem, you got to remember that you may just be one piece of that puzzle. Mm-hmm. Because your life is limited. Your time is limited. But as long as you can be that one piece of the puzzle and then provide the voice so that the other pieces start falling in place, hopefully your legacy will be the bigger picture, And I think that's what, like, I feel like that's what, like, the leaders back in the day were trying to do. Like Martin Luther King, he was trying to be like, hey, I have a dream of everybody coming together. I don't think he wanted this kind of world where it was like, victim mentality. I don't think that's the dream he had. Right. And I do believe that there's something more. Like, we got to come together and be more of like, yo, I got your back, you got mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to find a way to connect because divided we fall,
Right.
Together we stand, right. Divided we fall.
And that's how it is. We're divided. The masses, the people, we're divided. Mm-hmm. Right. And right now there's an elite few who are on top, who are controlling everything, and they're the ones making it. And they're just showing everything in their path just so they can get what they want. And so we got to change that. I'm hoping that we are being guided by and being, embraced by the universe to do something different. I'm hoping. I'm optimistic. Yo, right, so in closing, wait, hold on. In closing, Tristan's like, whoa, why are you cutting it short? So yeah, that's why we're cutting it short.
So we're cutting it short because I have family court here in a few minutes. Yeah, so I have to go prepare for that. That's why I kept getting interrupted. My attorney is calling me and life, man. Life. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Yeah, I hope that, you take away something from this episode. Like, every time we meet together, I hope you take something away that kind of just keeps you a little lifted, a little, happier, a little hopeful for a better tomorrow.
We love you guys. Lynn, good luck in court.
Thank you.
I hope everything works out. Thank you for watching. And if you haven't, please comment, like, and subscribe for anybody who's new watching, shadow watching, behind the scenes. Shadow watching in a good way because we're still, it helps with the stats. But, please, the show's for you guys. So please comment, let us know whatever you want us to talk about. I want to say that there's nothing off limits, but that's up to YouTube, right? We are on their platform. So that's another thing. We got to figure out how we create new platforms. But like I said, we love you.